Hello everyone, Cameron here with another at-home workout for you. This workout will just be a standing upper body workout that you can do as a circuit. I have some light weights. I also have some objects that you can use around the house if you don't have weights. So I have some water bottles and a few cans. So all you'll need is just a clutter-free space and a few objects to hold. So I'm starting out here with a shoulder press. So standing nice and tall, bracing my core, have my arms at 90 degrees, and then extending them straight up towards the ceiling, breathing out as I extend my arms up, breathing in on the way down. Just want to keep a nice stable base. And then the next version here, if you have trouble pressing over your head, you can do this exercise instead. If you have no shoulder issues, you can do both. So I'm just demonstrating this exercise with the water bottles, but if you want to use your weights, if you have some at home, you can use those too. Standing up nice and tall, shoulders down and back, and just reaching forward, extending my arms just to shoulder height. So this is going to work more the front of the shoulder, and then trying to control that way down as well. So I'm not just letting my arms fall. I'm trying to resist that weight on the way down and then bring them up. Then the next motion here, going back to my heavier weights. So with my dumbbells, keeping my shoulders down and back, elbows tucked into my sides. So as I curl up, my palms are forward. Then when I get to the top there, I'm flipping my palms so they're down on the way down and up on the way up. So working the biceps here, but also a little bit of wrist mobility as we flip our palms from forward to down. And then the other thing to note here is that we want to turn our wrist before we bend our elbows. So as you can see, I'm pausing at the bottom, turning my wrist, then curling, pausing at the top, flipping my wrist down, and then curling down. Next motion here, just grabbing some cans, holding my arms out parallel with the ground. You'll definitely need your lighter weights if you have some. So these cans actually work perfect for this exercise. Pulling my arms back, pinching and squeezing my shoulder blades together, and then reaching forward. So our shoulders are constantly under tension with this exercise. That's what makes it a little more difficult. Just pulling back, pushing forward, nice continuous breathing, keeping that core nice and tight. Push and pull. Up next here, just hinging at the hips, a slight bend in my knees, and then pulling my elbows back, keeping my elbows nice and wide. So at the top here, trying to pinch and squeeze my shoulder blades together, and then letting my arms come down with control. And as I pull my elbows back, trying to squeeze those shoulder blades at the top. So you should roughly have about 90 degrees at the top of our motion, but if it's a little more, a little less, not a big deal. And then a similar motion here. It's actually a little bit easier because we're using a bigger muscle in our back, keeping our elbows tucked in. So I'm switching to my heavier weights, pulling those elbows back, but this time my elbows are tucked into my sides. So again, same setup, keeping a slight bend in my knees, hinging at the hips, leaning forward. You can see my upper body isn't moving at all, just moving my arms, pulling those elbows back, and then again, giving those shoulder blades a squeeze at the top. Next motion, switching to some lighter weights using the water bottles, hinging at the hips again, this time keeping my upper arm locked in stone. So from my shoulder to my elbow, that stays still, just moving my elbow to my wrist, so my lower arm, and just locking out my triceps. Everything else stays locked in stone, shoulders pulled down. Again, that slight bend in my knees, and just bending and extending my elbow to work my triceps. Next motion, using my dumbbells again, just a calf raise. So for this one, you don't need weights, but if you want to use some extra resistance, you can just hold the weights that you have or those water bottles and just go up onto your tippy toes. Try to hold that position at the top for a second or two, and then back down. As soon as my heels touch the floor, I'm pushing back up. If you want to make it a little more challenging, if you have something to hold on to, you can do this single leg as well. So just one leg at a time, and then switch to the other. And then my last one here, just going into a dumbbell squat. So I'm holding that dumbbell up nice and high, keeping my elbows up, squatting down. Just go as low as you can go, whatever feels good for your lower body. So you don't need to go as low as I am. Just modify it to your own range of motion. Take a deep breath in as you go down into that squat, breathing out as you get to the top. Control the motion, push those knees forward and out, and then push those hips back to sit back into that squat. But that will conclude our upper body dumbbell workout. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video.